So I get this message from a guy on Instagram asking, about these finish time training plans. Should he adjust it? What's he using? And I just get so annoyed with finish time training plans because I believe that you should let your physiology dictate your finish time, not your finish time dictate your physiology. So what do I mean by that is that when you pick these arbitrary times, whatever, sub 2 hour half, a sub 4 hour marathon, often we have no idea if we're even capable of those specific times. Look, fully happy for you to use finish time as a motivator, but it does not need to be a dictator. So often, look, this is how it plays out for the majority of clients that I work with. Okay, so when you buy these finish time training plans, often you're pretty ambitious, right? You're going for a time that's faster than what you've already run. Yeah, understandably so, but whether that's possible, who knows? Either way, you get the plan, you get into it, you're motivated, ticking boxes, running through it. Then, because you've selected a plan that's like it's a little bit too fast, it starts to get pretty hard and the fatigue starts to mount. Okay, you're ambitious. You started to do, 5 of the intervals when it said 3 to 5. You went top end. It said maybe an additional run. You did the additional run. Then as things start to come up, maybe there's like a school trip, there's a holiday, there's sickness, there's whatever, work. You start to deviate from the plan a little bit, right? And then once you deviate from the plan, it's done. You're gone. No chance of coming back on. Often what happens from then on, you're like, well, I'm not really following the plan anyway. And I'm a bit tired. I had to take a few days off here and there. So now I'm just going to be pretty selective about what workouts I do. Yeah, it says easy day to day, but I'm not really following the plan anyway. So I'll do the 5 by a mile from last week, right? Way easier to do that than actually stick to the plan. So what happens is you roll through the plan doing that kind of thing for, 6 to 8 weeks. Most of these plans are like 8 to 16 weeks. Then you roll up to the event, right? And you're like, oh, I have no idea what I'm capable of. Like, I really couldn't tell you. I know what I hope to do, and probably you're still like a bit actually overdone rather than underdone because you got back on plan for the last couple of weeks being like, oh, I never really sort this out. Okay, so you've done that, you're on the start line, and then you get into it. All right, first few Ks, couple miles, too fast, guaranteed. Despite knowing exactly the splits you need to run, despite that, almost everyone without a plan goes out too fast. Haven't really thought about nutrition, haven't really thought about hydration. It's just a half anyway, so who cares? You get 3/4 through the race, 10 miles, 15 Ks in. You start to it's burning now. It's real, it's getting real. You suffer through the last kind of 30 minutes, 20 minutes or so, and you end up crossing the line 5-10 minutes slower than you thought, and you think, suffered a bit of cramp there, and maybe I didn't train hard enough. Maybe I should have taken a gel or two. I didn't realize it was going to be that hot. I had no idea it was going to be that hilly. Next time I'll train harder and I'll stick to the plan. Well, that's what I see. I see that so often. Look, I've been there, okay? Early on in my career, that's what I did. I was like, I want to run this time. This is the plan. Let'srun.com forum. I'd be in it. Then I realized going through my degree, my postgraduate research, there's a way better way. So this is how Steve or you can have a 100% better race experience. Look, what you want to do is figure out what your physiology is right now. What are your physical capabilities? Okay, we do that by doing a threshold test. That's like standard, use my 30-minute test, go Hundy for 30 minutes, take an average of the last 20 minutes, and that can give you your pace, heart rate, power thresholds. Jump on my website, threshold zones calculator, put it in, get your zones. Now you've got a realistic, objective measure of your fitness. Thinking about like a half marathon in this instance, so like Steve coming in going, yeah, I want to run a 150. A half marathon is going to be completed between 90 to 100% of your anaerobic threshold. That's what we just found in that 30-minute test. Golden. Okay, so now what you can do is you can go out and you can do like a 10K, 6 mile, like an hour, 45 minutes, somewhere around there, and you can go run within that zone. So that's kind of zone 3 to zone 4 on my calculator. Build through your 10K or your 1 hour. See if you're actually capable of holding, say a zone 3 run for an hour. Because if you can do that, then it is a realistic output or pace, power output that you're going to be able to sustain for the race. If you can't even hold that level of output for 10Ks or an hour, guaranteed, no way you're going to be able to do it for a half marathon or longer into a marathon. And then you could get fully into the weeds and have a look at what's called cardiovascular decoupling. And that's really around is your heart rate increasing at a rate that is beyond steady state. Anyway, I go into a lot of that on my course, my Run Fast with Data course, which you can check out on my website. But once you've done that, right, you can get a realistic idea about where you are right now and what areas you need to work on. Once you find that pace that is sustainable for an hour, you start to massage that threshold as you build through your plan. So over the next, say, 8 to 12 weeks, you should be able to see progression within that pace range, around that 95% threshold range, and actually see that you're either getting a more stable heart rate, a lower heart rate at that pace, or you're able to maintain the heart rate and push up the pace power outputs. And that there is utilizing your physiology from week 1 to then predict your finish time, rather than trying to do it the inverse and pick some arbitrary time and try and dictate and jam your physiology into that level of fitness. 2023, let's move with the times in terms of all of these. We have a smartwatch, a smartphone, a personal computer in our pocket and on our wrists now, so we should be able to utilize these things to train more effectively. And that's what I'm all about. Hashtag faster with data. So follow along, check me out, subscribe, check the podcasts, Strava, Instagram, training plans, calculators, courses, blogs, podcast, everything on my website, drwilloconnor.com. Okay, till next time, catch you later.